Well, in some ways, the easiest way to describe the differences between the two of us who are running for this department, for this position, w- uh, would be to start with what we have in common. We're both Democrats. We're both trained at big accounting firms and auditing, and we've both lived in Oakland, for a long time. Then I'd say, and we're both certified public accountants. At that point, we diverge. The first area we diverge is that in my over 35 years of living in Temescal, I have for many years been very active in civic affairs and later in good government activities. I list them on my website, things like treasurer of Temple Beth Abraham. I started, along with a colleague, a neighbor of mine, I started an unarmed private patrol in Temescal. I've also worked on, I've worked with the Oakland Food Pantry down in West Oakland. There are quite a few things that I've worked on over the years, including helping out with NCPC activities in Temescal. I think if you go look at my opponent's website, you'll see a big difference between the level of our participation in Oakland life. The other thing that I did for years when my kids were growing up is I was a soccer manager for traveling soccer teams in North Oakland. That involved working with Latino kids from East and West Oakland who comprised about 50% of the teams. And so I got to know their families, where they lived, and I'm still close to some of those kids, even years later. The other, getting into the main difference that would affect how we perform our work, other than the fact that I'm much more, shall we say, comfortable and aware with all different parts of the diverse city that we call Oakland, and with the different residents of Oakland who have different life situations, so again, who are greatly affected by fiscal decisions made at City Hall. One of the main differences is that I have a demonstrated track record of being conversant with the complexities of Oakland fiscal matters. However, it's not enough to be competent in those matters. You have to be truly independent of political pressures in order to affect change through the office of city auditor. It's not enough to just say you're going to be impartial and independent and adhere to professional standards, all those things. I hate to tell you, I mean, I'm a CPA and I shouldn't say this, but all those professional standards didn't do the people of Bell, California any good. They didn't do the people at Enron the investors and the employees of Enron any good either. No, you really have to look at the person's track record, and you have to look at who they're depending on to get elected. And if you look at my opponent, you will see that most of my opponent's financial support from the public comes from the very union leaders whom she will be auditing. If you look at my support, which is much less, you'll see there's a very diverse group of people who are supporting me there, and I'm not, and you can also tell from the political affiliations of the people supporting me that they range from Democrats, Noel Gallo and Larry Reed, to Green Party, the former Green Party candidate for City Council, Don McClay, to people who are, active in privacy matters like Brian Hoffer, and then a whole range of people in between like Karen Ivey, Larry Benson, Josephine Lee, who are all very active in just NCPC matters. So I have a base of support that's every bit as diverse as the Oakland population is. And I would say none of them are people who are going to benefit from any decision or any audit results that I come up with in any way. I mean, other than improving the performance of the city and delivering services to all of us. And that's the key to becoming to being an effective city auditor. You have to be truly independent, um, not just in mind, but also not just in attitude, but also in how you get elected in the first place. If you're getting elected mainly with the help of the very people who you will be auditing, it's going to be a very difficult proposition for you to stay truly independent when you select the targets to audit. Which brings me to the reason I'm not getting supported by the municipal union leadership, and the reason for that is that a key part of my platform is that as city auditor, I would bring to the forefront a public discussion about how to pay for our over 2.4 billion of unfunded retirement obligations. These obligations, by the city's own projections, will hit us like a fiscal tsunami by 2016. The effect of those, if we don't deal with them, would be to both hurt the employees who are depending on those retirement obligations and promises, and could easily seriously impair the ability of the city to pay its bills and to deliver services. And none of that would be good for any of us. My point is that we have to start dealing with those now, not wait till 2016 when a lot of these obligations hit us, when balloon payments on pension bonds come due, when baby boomer medical expenses start coming in, the bills for those. The time to deal with it is now, when we have some additional real estate bubble revenue, and not dig our hole deeper and wait till the last second and then tell the citizens, oh, the residents, hey, you have no choice, you have to do something drastic, cut services, lay off employees, impose the mother of all parcel taxes, or borrow it all from Wall Street. I'm saying the time to deal with it is now. Let's start that discussion. I'm open to all solutions pretty much. I have there are only three biases I have about what solutions we should look at, and I'm willing to look at them, but I'm biased against those. And one of those is laying off city employees. Another one is borrowing it all from Wall Street for 30 years. And the third one is cutting services, to vital services to vulnerable residents. Those are my non-negotiables. But anything else, I'd say, should be on the table and will be on the table, regardless of what I want anyway. But the point is, let's talk about it now. Unfortunately for us, union leadership feels differently about it. Union leadership, in my conversations with them during the endorsement processes, told me that while they agreed with me about the numbers and about the fiscal tsunami that we faced in 2016, they said you're right. They said that's just arithmetic in effect. However, their attitude was that talking about it wasn't going to change anything, because politicians weren't going to do anything. And I would say the unspoken elephant in the room during these discussions were the belief of union leaders that not only would politicians not do anything about it, but that the residents of the city would go postal if they understood the magnitude, the size of the obligations and the retirement benefits that city politicians had promised our city workers, who negotiated in good faith for these benefits years ago and based their lives on it. And now we're facing a problem in just a couple of years of saying, how could we possibly pay them what we've promised them? There was a recent report by our current city auditor, which pretty much said the same thing. Said that it's not just a cash flow problem; it's a solvency problem that we are going to face, and we're going to face it pretty soon. So that is why the city municipal union leadership, and every one of them has endorsed my opponent, who never talks about retirement obligations, and I would say is probably very unlikely to bring that up until city municipal unions leadership are want to talk about that, which will probably be at the last moment, somewhere in 2016, when we face horrendous projected deficits.